Okay, so for Boo, most of it just uses the basic mosaic crochet stitches. So, well, if you've done the gauge swatch, you sort of know just about everything that you need to know about making up the body of your blanket, apart from chart 2. Now for chart 2, if you look, you'll see that if you look sort of carefully at the rows, you'll probably notice that there are some rows with like 3 colours you can see along it. Now I haven't used any sort of tapestry crochet, I'm still using overlay mosaic, but this is I'm just gonna, the longer stitches that we use to create the pattern are just going to be a little bit longer because we're going to be covering up 2 rows, so we're using 3 colours instead of 2. So I just wanted to run you through how to do that. So what I've got here, my swatch is all over the place but I'm now putting chart 2 on top of my Boo chart here. But you should be now, probably, if you're doing the Cal in order, you'll be straight on top of your row of tombstones. Okay, so where I've got up to row 8. So row 8, up sort of rows 1 to 8 are exactly the same as you've been doing. That's just standard 2 colour overlay mosaic crochet. But if you now notice, and it's not that big a difference between the Parma Violet and the Mushroom, but I've actually got 3 colours we've working in here. Okay, so I've just got a plain row in the Parma Violet, which is going to form the bottom of the Ghoulish Heads. So what we're going to do next, we're not going to go back to the white as you'd expect. I'm actually now going to bring in my 3rd colour. Okay, so I'm now using C2 or X2. I'll show you what I mean about the longer stitches. So as you always do, we're going to start with our slip knot on a hook. And obviously we've got our standard double crochet under both loops and a chain and miss a chain. So I'll repeat on row 9. Starts with 1 back loop double crochet. Well, it's not, that's actually before the repeat. So the row starts with 1 back loop double crochet before we start our stitch repeat. Then we've got 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now we've got up to where we want to work on the witch's hat. So we don't want this white stripe here. So what we've got a C2 hat with a little sort of band around it in C3. Forgotten what the colour was. So we're now going to go and we're working down onto these stitches here. Okay, so we're going to cover up row 8 and row 7. Okay, and to do that, rather than using a standard front loop treble, we're going to be doing a front loop double treble. So instead of being a treble 2 rows down, it's a front loop treble 3 rows down. Okay, double treble, a front loop double treble. So a double treble, if you don't know, is just you wrap the yarn around twice instead of once. Okay, and we go down, we're still inserting into that front loop, but we see we've now gone down an extra row. Yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. Okay, so that is basically it. Principle is very similar to the ordinary overlay mosaic. We're just now doing a longer stitch and into a row further down. So we've got a total of 13 of those. So 1, wrap it around twice, 2, 2, 2. Okay, and that is basically, there we go, the principle we've got. So we've now covered up both of those rows there. In between you'll still see 2 rows there, but don't worry, because when we now do our next row in C1, we're going to be covering those up in the middle. Okay, so I'll just now carry on. So at the moment I've got 4 front loop double trebles, and we need 13. 12, 13. Okay, so now we're going to end or repeat with 6 back loop double crochets. So the stitches that we do into the back loops there, they're just the same. They're still the same little double crochets. Don't change them. It's just the ones we use to make the pattern. Okay, so that is the end of that first repeat. And then we're going to start again with 5 more back loop double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we'll have 13 front loop double trebles. Okay, so you can carry on along like so, and I'll come back and we'll just run through row 10 together. Okay, this is where we are after row 9. So when I'm going to start row 10, we go back to our C1 colour, or X1, standing double crochet, that's a standing double crochet, it's a slip knot on the hook I meant to say a minute ago. 1 chain, miss the chain, then we've got a back loop double crochet before our repeat starts, and then 2 more at the start of the repeat. Okay, then we have 3 front loop double trebles, so just make sure you're working into the right place. So obviously 1, 2, 3, we're going to be into that loop there. Okay, two, and I'm not sure, I might have called them double crochets, which obviously I meant double trebles. Okay, so 3 double trebles 3 rows down. Then we've got 13 back loop double crochets, so they're going across the hat here. Obviously, if you see, I think 12, 13. Then we've got 3 front loop double trebles again. Okay, then we're ending our repeat with 3 back loop double crochets. Okay, and we start again with 2 more back loop double crochets and 3 front loop double trebles. Okay, 2, 3, and then we've got a run of 13 back loop double crochets across the hat again. So there we go, so you can carry along, complete that row, and then we'll do row 11 together. Okay, so I've now just got started on row 11 with the standing double crochet, a chain, and then that back loop double crochet in the first stitch before we start our repeats. So for this one, our repeat starts with 2 front loop double trebles. Okay. Okay. So as I said, we've sort of started with half a ghoulish head. Then we have got 19 back loop double crochets. So what we're doing is obviously working our back loop double crochets all the way along here to the next head. Okay. $18, $19. There we've got 2 more front loop double trebles. And our repeat ends with 1 back loop double crochet. Okay, so that is your repeat. So you're going to start again with 2 more front loop double trebles, and then you've got your run of 19 back loop double crochets all the way along there. Okay, let's carry on, repeat that, and then we'll come back and we'll do row 12 together. Okay, so that's row 11 completed. And I've got to start on row 12 with the edge stitch and chain. Okay, so we now start straight away with a front loop double treble. Okay, so this is the mouth for the Ghoulish Head. Then it's 6 back loop double crochets, 1, 2, 5, 6. Then we have got 11 front loop double trebles across the witch's hat. Ten, 11, then 6 back loop double crochets, 5 and 6, and we end with a front loop double treble there. Okay, so that is our repeat there, and we're ready to start the next repeat with 6 more back loop double crochets. So yeah, carry on and complete this row, and then we will do row 13 together. Okay, so I've now just got started on row 13 with the edge stitch double crochet, chain, and then there's a back loop double crochet before we start our repeat. So on this one we have 4 more back loop double crochets, 2, 3, 4, and 2 front loop double trebles. So you can see the C1 or X1 is basically our background colour, and we have C4 is creating, or X4 is creating the little faces, and then obviously C2 is the colour of the hats. So what we're now going to do, we just now got to work 11 back loop double crochets across the hat there, 10, 11, 2 front loop double trebles, 2, and then we end our repeat with 5 back loop double crochets, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we start again with 4 more back loop double crochets, 3, 4, and 2 front loop double trebles, etc. Okay, so carry on, complete that, and then we will do row 14 together. Okay, so row 14 is slightly different, that we're actually using both our ordinary F stitches and our double F stitches. So we're using both the front loop trebles 2 rows down and front loop double trebles 2 rows down, obviously with the back loop double crochets as well. So I'll explain why. So I've just now got started on row 14 with the edge stitch and the chain. So what we're doing here, if you can see, because we on 2 rows down we did our double treble there, we can't do a double treble now. We have a choice between either a back loop double crochet or a front loop treble 2 rows down. Well, we're going to be doing a front loop treble 2 rows down, so that's our standard overlay mosaic stitch for the pattern. Okay, then we have 4 front loop double trebles. Two, oops, 3, 4, and then we've got a run of 15 back loop double crochet, so it's all along here till we get to this next head there. 1, 2, 14, 15, then 4 front loop double trebles, one front loop treble, 4 front loop double trebles. Oh, so yeah, we ended our repeat with that front loop treble. Okay, then we start the next one with 4 double trebles. Okay, there we go. So carry on and complete that row. You can probably do row 15 and 16 yourself as well, actually, and I'll come back, we'll do row 17 together. Okay, so I've just completed row 16 and just got started on row 17 with that edge stitch and the chain. So we're now going to start straight away with a front loop double treble. Okay, and then we've got 2 back loop double crochets, 1, 2, and 3 front loop trebles. Okay, so that is how we do the eyes for the Ghoulish Heads. Just leaving the little gap there. It'll be a little bit more obvious obviously when we get to this one in the middle. Okay, so we've now got 13 back loop double crochets, 12, 13, then 3 front loop double trebles, 1, 2, 3, 2 back loop double crochets, and then we end our repeat with 1 front loop double treble down there. Okay, so now I'm going to start again, next repeat with 2 more back loop double crochets and 3 front loop double trebles. Okay, so there we go. That's where you can see that we've now got the eyes, we've got the face for the Ghoulish Heads. So to be honest, I think you're absolutely good to go with the rest of this chart.